Welcome to BigDaddie Sports. I'm your host, Big Daddy.
I'm LB Jenkins.
And we're back with you this week with the hot topics in the NFL. Let's jump right in it. Rex Ryan has put his foot in his mouth again. Said he'd have 2 Super Bowl rings if he was the coach of San Diego. What do you think?
I think Rex Ryan was saying, if I hit Phillip Rivers, I would have 2 Super Bowl rings. Phillip Rivers, Mark Sanchez, it doesn't work. I mean, you compare them. Yeah, he's like, if I was in San Diego, I would have had 2 Super Bowl rings because I have a Phillip Rivers. And I can run defense, so my defense will be unstoppable. I have Phillip Rivers, I have Vincent Jackson, I have a younger LT. I mean, he would have been unstoppable.
He tried to take a dig at North Turner, and what he actually did was take a dig at his own team. He basically sold his team out for the San Diego Chargers, saying that they were the better team, and he wished he had took that opportunity. I love Rex, but Rex has got to shut up. This is too much. You know, we're going to win the Super Bowl. He yells that every year, and it hasn't happened. And now it's like the coach who cried wolf. Nobody cares. His own team is not listening to him. They had to get rid of Derek Mason because he was causing the insurrection. He needs to concentrate on winning that division and being able to beat the Patriots and the Bills. That's what he needs to concentrate on. San Diego is his game this Sunday. You can't be worried about, they didn't hire me in 2007. You probably weren't ready in 2007 because, quite frankly, we aren't 100% sure you're ready for the show now. So, let's go.
I think he needs a new QB. I think that's the problem, really. You give him a new QB.
In the regular season, Mark Sanchez is the problem. I won't argue that at all. But come playoff time, he's a different kid. If you look at the AFC Championship losses, it has not been Mark Sanchez. The defense couldn't stop the run.
Yes.
That's what it is. So, he has to get his defense to show up in those big moments, and he'd have a ring or 2. So, yeah, Mark Sanchez in the regular season, flaky at best. But come postseason, he steps his game up. You have to give him that. Next topic. Carson Palmer gets traded to the Oakland Raiders. Is he the savior? Is he going to save the Raiders season?
Is he the savior? He's better than Jason Campbell. I think if he comes in and
really? For what they're doing, last year Carson threw 20 picks. If you throw 20 picks on this team, they're not making the playoffs. Jason Campbell was low risk, low reward. He wasn't going to make the spectacular play, but he wasn't turning the ball over. Can Carson do that?
But you look at Jason Campbell's best year, it doesn't compete with Carson Palmer's best year. We just need old Carson Palmer back.
Yeah, but let's be real. Carson threw more touchdowns, but he also threw more picks. He's got a year. I mean, 26 touchdowns is great, but then 20 interceptions is unacceptable. And so with this team, whether it's run the ball with McFadden, play good defense, play field position, they have good special teams players, you can't have him turning the ball over. He hasn't played 6 weeks of regular season, no training camp, no OTAs, and now you're asking him to come in here and you're like, win this division. I don't know.
At the same time, you got to look at Carson in Cincinnati. He was unhappy. When you go to work every day and you're unhappy with your boss, Marvin. You're unhappy with your teammates. You got T.O. and Ocho Cinco pressuring him to get the ball. I think your play is going to demonstrate that. He's here, he's renewed, he's had time to rest. Yes, he needs to learn the playbook. He didn't have training camp. You had the lockout. Hopefully he was smart and working out during his offseason. I think in a week or 2, he can lead this team.
I don't know. I just think you got to hope that you get pre-injury Carson Palmer. And we haven't seen that in 4 years. And that's pre-2 injuries because it was the knee and then the elbow. So you got to hope that he's fresh, he's ready, and he's going to come in and make a difference. We'll find out. Next up is Handshake Gate. What do you think of Harbaugh and Jim Schwartz? Who gets the blame?
Jim Schwartz is being emotional. I mean, I think he saw his team at perfection. He came in there, he lost. And you lost in the final minutes. No one ever saw Alex Smith driving down the field and getting the touchdown. No one could have predicted that all last season. Every time you thought Alex was going to get it done, he threw an interception.
He choked.
So I think Jim Schwartz, now he's all right. I'm not perfect anymore. Now teams can exploit my weakness. And Detroit's been here before. You start off the season great, and then you tank the rest of the season. So I think he's scared. It's kind of an emotional feeling that he got a little scared. And he overreacted.
I think it's a joke, and I think the media blew it up. Yeah,
Oh,
Schwartz was stupid. There's no question. I don't care how hard he shook my hand or he patted me on the back. What this comes down to is I'm angry because I couldn't tell the guy I just lost to congratulations. Really? Grow up. I mean, if that was a player, first of all, if that was a player, he'd be suspended. The NFL would have came down on him. I'm not cool with Roger Goodell having one set of rules for the players and with the coaches, no punches were thrown. I guarantee you if that was a player, suspension and or fine. So I have a problem with the different set of rules. Schwartz escalated that. I don't see nothing wrong with Harbaugh did. It's a huge win on the road for a young team that's up and coming, and it's unfortunate that handshake gate takes away from how well the 49ers are playing. As you mentioned, Alex Smith drove that team downfield on a game-winning drive. He's growing. That team is growing. And Braylon Edwards isn't even really playing yet. They're waiting to get him back. When they get him back and they have all their weapons, and all of a sudden Frank Gore's running the ball effectively, that team's kind of scary in the NFC. I'm not saying they're Packers good, but in the NFC West, they're obviously the class of the division.
Oh yeah, we definitely see him going somewhere. Right now, you can honestly say, especially after Alex Smith winning the game, you can say, all right, these are playoff contenders here. I want to see it. I don't want Alex Smith. I want to see the consistency. I want to go all 16 games.
We'll see how it goes. Next up, Dallas choking again, but finding a new way to do it. You can't blame this L on Romo because they took the ball out of his hands.
This is true. You try to run the ball, Felix Jones gets injured. You sit here. I mean, it was Tom versus Tony Romo. Close game, defense has kept the score.
I agree. I'm going to take Tom every time. Here's where my problem is. It's one thing if we sit up here and we question the effectiveness of Tony Romo in big moments. Now, what you've shown is that locker room and that coaching staff don't trust Tony Romo. That's a whole different thing. You can't go where Dallas needs to go and wants to go with a quarterback who you don't think can make plays in the fourth quarter. That's a scary thought. You'd rather give the ball to a third-string rookie running back than your quote-unquote franchise quarterback. That says a lot. Dallas has questions. The owner is questioning. He retracted it, but he meant what he said. So I look at Jason Garrett, and I have serious questions. Do you trust him? Because we can't dictate what you do as a coach. And it seems like the media pressure dictated, okay, I'm a force run the ball. When they got the field goal and then they got the ball back after stopping Tom Brady, you got to take a shot.
Oh, yes.
You can't give Tom Brady 2+ minutes and tell your defense, who's been playing great all day, but Tom Brady is the best quarterback in football. You give him that much time at home, he's going to find a way, and he found a way.
I think Jason Garrett's problem, he got scared. I didn't play conservative against Detroit. Detroit came back and won. But if the run is not working, you have to throw some passes in there.
But in the NFL, championship coaches don't play not to lose. And that's what he did. If he ever wants a ring, he has to change that. Next up, are the Eagles back? Last week we were putting dirt on their grave. This week after a win, are they back yet? Are you ready to say the Eagles are back?
I think it was a much needed win. I mean, Michael Vick, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. McCoy's the one that really stepped up. But McCoy is fast, but he is small. He's not a good blocker. That's why Michael Vick is getting it as well.
Along with the offensive line.
Yeah. I mean, I think teams will adjust to that. Defense is going to see, all right, how to stop McCoy. And then we're back to square one. Can Michael Vick win the game? Can the defense stop?
I don't think the Eagles won this game. I think Washington lost this game. And I'll tell you why. You can't go into that game and they only ran the ball 14 times. With the Eagles' run defense, and I know you got down early, but you only ran the ball 14 times. You're playing into their strengths. Then you got Rex Grossman, who I've been on all year, touting, has he changed? And you put him in position, he threw 4 interceptions. And then you benched him. Now, I'll get to that later, but at some point, why are you going to play to their strengths? Their weakness is running the ball. And give Shanahan one thing. He coaches offensive line in the running game well. He should have been running the ball more. He put his team in the hole. Washington lost this game. I can't say that Philly won this game. Then also looking at Philly's schedule, Dallas, we don't know. Chicago, again, no. Arizona, I'll give you that one. At the Giants, and then the Patriots at home. I can't say the Eagles are back at 2-4 with that schedule.
I mean, you're going to beat Arizona.
But they're toss-ups.
They're questionable. I mean, if you tell Tony Romo, don't throw the ball again, Jason Garrett, then of course the Eagles can come out there. I can't say they're back. Like I said, it was a much needed win. I mean, with the losses in the division, it actually got you closer if you do start to win the rest of the season. We gotta see the upcoming.
I just think the hole that they've dug, although it's super early, I just think it's going to be too much to crawl out of, but only time will tell. Now, to Rex Grossman. Should he have been benched after one horrible game? The game was horrendous. He was 9 of 22. He threw 4 interceptions. That's horrendous. But should he have been benched?
Now, I've been saying bench Rex Grossman from the beginning. I've been saying that. But no, one game is not enough to bench a starting QB. You named him your starter. He plays good. Oh, he keeps going. But one bad game? Now, I've been saying he needs to be consistent. But he hasn't been consistently bad. Now, a second game happened, then okay, yeah, maybe John
Let's think about it. But this is what I think happened. You know, I'm not a big Shanahan fan. Shanahan's too smart for his own good, and what he wants to do is to be able to say that he made John Beck, the quarterback that everybody gave up on. I'm going to bring him in, and I'm going to mold him into greatness. He's done this before. His head got big in Denver, and he decided, I can put any running back I want to in there. I'm just plug him in my system. He chose Brian Griese over Bubby Brister after Elway retired, and he thought he was going to make Brian Griese a Hall of Famer. Brian Griese is calling college football games now. I'm just telling you, the man is arrogant, him and his son, and I'm sorry, I don't see John Beck being a franchise QB.
Not at all.
His arm is not better than Grossman's. I hope his decision-making is for his sake, because this could be another dumb Mike Shanahan move in Washington. Next up, is Mac 5 done? Is it finally over? I've been on him all season long, and everybody's seen what I've seen. The spark's not there. The running's not there. He's completely short, dinky passes. Is his career over?
I think McNabb's career is not over if he comes over to Arizona instead of Cobb. I mean, I think he'll do better here in Arizona. I feel you got the coaching egos last year in Washington. You got offense is not producing. It's not all on McMack. I think his career is done in Minnesota. I believe he needs to start somewhere fresh. He needs to be renewed. He needs to go somewhere where you got offensive pieces. Because you have AP. And if AP's having a bad day,
then it's over. My concern for McNabb is it's not all him in Minnesota. If you watch the game against Chicago, you saw Visanthe Shenko dropping first downs, Percy Harvin dropping passes. But McNabb skipped a few balls. You know, he's going to throw you a couple of dirt balls. That's what he does. But I look at him and I say he can't make the big play. He's not stretching the field. And I don't know of a situation that's going to want to bring him in. Seattle didn't want him this offseason. They wanted Tavares Jackson over Donovan McNabb. Arizona didn't want him because he didn't think he could work in their system. There are not a lot of opportunities for him. Donovan McNabb may have just worked his way out of the NFL, and if this is how he goes, that's very sad to see. Next, what are your expectations of Tim Tebow this Sunday as the Miami Dolphins basically have Tim Tebow there as they celebrate the 2008 Florida Gators National Championship in Miami? It's going to be a home game for Tebow.
I tell you this, Miami going to have sold out seats for Bounty for once.
I'll tell you, Tim Tebow was announced as the starter. Miami sold 20,000 seats when Tebow was announced as the starter. That tells you his star power. But what is he going to do on the field?
One, he's going to bring leadership. We saw last week when Tim Tebow stepped on the field, the team stepped up. It's something Kyle Orton had lost with the team. They're going to play. Now, you gave your best wide receiver over the Rams. I hope he has enough offensive weapons. McGahee, no shot,
no shine, no talent,
no show up. Moreno is on the field. I pray he does well. I really pray that he does well because the rest of the team is what's to worry about. I'm not worried about Tim Tebow. I'm worried about the rest of the team. But I pray they all get together. Tim Tebow's going to show up. Tim Tebow's going to extend the play. I think Tim Tebow's going to play great.
I look at this, and he's set up to win this game. He is. You know, whatever, all the fanfare, there's going to be 15 jerseys all over that stadium for him. I do question the move of Brandon Lloyd. Now, I did hear that Brandon asked for this trade. They said if you find a trade that helps us out too, we'll do it. So Brandon didn't want to be there with Tebow throwing him the ball because he felt his numbers were going to go down. These other receivers are unproven. And so I don't know who Tebow's going to be throwing to. The run game in Denver is inconsistent. I hope they fully invest in him. You can't run the offense that you ran with Kyle Orton.
Yeah.
You have to tailor your offense to what his talents are. To spreading people out and running quarterback draws, the quick passes and things of this nature. You can't ask him to stand in there and stand in the pocket and be a traditional quarterback. If they do those things, he has a chance to be successful. I would have made a phone call to Urban Meyer and asked Urban Meyer, what does he run well? What do I need to stay away from? Because you want to give him the opportunity to be great.
Now also, if you're going to invest, this show's on Fox and Elway's part though. When Oakland needed a quarterback, they were trying to get rid of Orton, not trying to get rid of Tebow. So I think they have invested in him. Last week's game, that half, he showed them something. You might say it's unorthodox.
But he showed them intangibles. This week he has to show tangibles. He can't go 4 for 10 for 79 yards.
Oh, yeah.
He has to be better than that. So hopefully he'll show them some tangibles. Now it's time for the picks. He won barely. I don't even want to discuss it. You know, it's whatever.
Is that 5-1? 5-1? Come on. You guys, I'm picking right. The Holy Spirit is with me. Come on. Go with my picks.
It's a joke. It's a fluke. Somebody's out to get me. They not showing Big Daddy no love. Let's get right in it. Diego versus the Jets.
Rex Ryan opened his mouth. Rex Ryan's going to have to back it up. I think he made the team practice harder this week to make sure they're at home. I'm going to go with the Jets.
I'm going with San Diego. Antonio Gates is back, and what do they struggle with? Cover the tight end down the seam. So I'm going with San Diego. Chicago versus Tampa in London.
Only because of time zones. I think it's less effect on Tampa Bay being the East Coast team compared to Chicago being Midwest. I'm going to pick Tampa Bay.
I've been on Chicago all year. It's been up and down. This is difficult. You know I like Josh Freeman. I think he's an up-and-coming quarterback in this league. But I got to run with Chi-Town. Jay Cutler, help me out, baby. I need some help. Make some plays on Sunday. Washington versus Carolina.
Cam Newton, John Beck. I'm going with Cam Newton, star power right now, at home. John Beck might throw a couple picks.
This is a difficult game because you don't know what to expect from Beck because we've never seen him. And then Cam is making great stats, but they're not finishing games. And I'm not saying it's all him, but the team is not finishing. But Carolina's home. I'm going with Carolina. ATL versus Detroit. I already know what you're going to say, but go ahead and say it.
I can't stand Atlanta's defense. Atlanta's going to Detroit. They have to get it together. After last week's loss, they practice harder this week. They're at home. They're gonna win the game. I'm going with Detroit.
I'm going with Atlanta. Detroit's gonna have to show me that they can come back from this loss. We've seen them in previous years tailspin after a loss. It was a tough, difficult loss at home. Atlanta needs to keep the pace in that division, especially if you want to make the playoffs. So, I don't know why, but I'm going with ATL in this game.
My picks, y'all. My picks.
Seattle versus Cleveland.
Cleveland lost again last week. Have to make up something.
Your boy Baby Favre got to start early. Fourth quarter, he catches fire, but in the first 3 quarters, he looks horrible. Baby Favre? Is that who you going with?
I'm going with Baby Favre. Cleveland's going to win. They're at home.
Cleveland is at home. That does matter. But Doesn't matter enough. I'm picking Seattle. Seattle's playing better than what people think. Denver versus Miami.
I look at Miami's team. I look at Denver. On paper, Miami's better. But I'm going with Tim Tebow. I think the team's going to play hard for him.
They don't play these games on paper. And I'm going with Tebow Nation. He's going to bring Denver and start that season on the right track. Houston versus Tennessee.
This one's hard. We got a up and down Houston. We got Matt Hasselbeck playing good. Tennessee's at home. I'm going with Tennessee.
Houston lost a tough game in Baltimore last week. They're trying to figure out how to play without Mario Williams. They're hoping Andre Johnson comes back. They need this game. I'm going to go with Houston. I like what Tennessee's doing, but I'm going to go with Houston. Here's a tough one. Kansas City versus Oakland, and Carson Palmer's probably going to start.
Oakland, with Jason Campbell, is going to beat Kansas City. Without Jason Campbell, as long as McFadden has a great day, they're at home, they're still winning for Al Davis. I'm going with Oakland.
Last year, Oakland swept the division and couldn't beat anybody else. Kansas City is a division opponent. Oakland wins this game. Pittsburgh versus Arizona.
Pittsburgh, enough said.
Pittsburgh is what Arizona wants to be. Arizona's not Pittsburgh yet, and they'll find out what real Steelers can do on Sunday. I'm taking Pittsburgh big in that game. Green Bay versus Minnesota.
The champions versus the rookie quarterback. I mean, come on, we gonna throw the rookie in against the Super Bowl champs. I'm taking Green Bay.
Green Bay. Christian Ponder hasn't even begun to realize what he's gotten himself into.
Welcome to the NFL.
This week. St. Louis versus Dallas.
Dallas has to win. I mean, there's gonna be some questioning and some firing if Dallas don't win. I'm gonna hope they get it together this week. I hope they had some great talks, great practices. I'm going with Dallas.
I want to pick St. Louis, but they haven't shown me enough yet. Now, the addition of Brandon Lloyd with a healthy Steven Jackson, I think they're going to have a little bit more pop than they've been having, but Dallas should win this game. They're the more talented team. Indy versus New Orleans.
New Orleans, enough said.
I wish Peyton was playing. If Peyton was playing, this would be a great game, but he's not. And yeah, Drew Brees, coming off a 3-interception game last week, is going to be angry. I'm taking Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. In the Monday Night Football game, which you know I'm waiting for, Baltimore visits Jacksonville.
I'm taking Baltimore. It's going to be a close game. Jacksonville's defense is playing great, but I don't think Blaine Gabbert is ready for Baltimore's defense.
And that's the key. Blaine Gabbert has seen nothing like the Purple Rain. I expect Ray Lewis, T-Sizzle, and Ed Reed to bring it all day. I do expect it to be close. Flacco may struggle like he did versus the Jets because, again, Jacksonville is playing solid defense. But I think Baltimore just has more talent. I'm taking Baltimore to take this game. Next up is our fantasy hits for this week. First off, our bye weeks this week are Buffalo, Cincinnati, New England, the Giants, Philly, and Frisco. If you got them, sit them. Then we have by the Green Bay defense. Again, rookie quarterback, Dom Capers in that 3-4. They're going to do big things this week.
Christian Ponder's going to have low self-esteem after this game.
Don't play Ponder. Do not pick up Christian Ponder as your quarterback. No chance this week. Then we have Rashad Mendenhall versus the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals' rush defense is not great. The Steelers are going to pound the ball. Pick up Mendenhall this week. And this should be obvious, but if you got him, play Drew Brees. Drew Brees versus the Colts, again, coming off that 3-pick game in Tampa, he's going to want to light him up. Who you got this week?
I got two for you. McFadden versus Kansas City defense. McFadden's going to run all over him. Since Carson is new to the team, they're going to focus on running more than passing.
Absolutely.
McFadden's going to run all over this defense. And I got double for you. Pick up Baltimore or Jacksonville. It's going to be a low-scoring game. Neither quarterback's going to get it together. The scores are going to be low. So either Baltimore's going to win. But whichever team you pick, you're going to have some great points for fantasy.
All right, that's all we have for you this week. Remember to hit us up on Twitter at BigDaddieK6. That's BigDaddieK6.
LB Jenkins at LightBrightJ. LightBrightJ.
Good luck with your picks, and we'll see you next week.